Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for checking in. I'll go through the precursory like, subscribe stuff, you know, all that. Nothing new there. So what are we talking about today? I have jumped headfirst into the EV space with my very first electric vehicle. I am a gas guy. I've always been a gas guy. I own a number of gas vehicles, but I decided that you know, I should check this out. I'm a car freak over and above everything, so I'm not automatically an EV hater like so many gas guys are. I do have an appreciation for vehicles, so this is new technology, or fairly new technology, at least becoming much more accessible to folks, and I wanted to check it out. So I picked myself up right here, 2023 ID4. Let's dig into it. I'll let you know what I think about it. I'm about 2 weeks into ownership. So far, little spoiler alert. So far, so good. But let's talk about some of the things I like, maybe some of the things I don't like, and let's talk about what you might experience. So the first thing that I thought about when I was looking for my EV, and it was a long discussion with my wife. We went out driving. I was actually looking for a hybrid, and I drove a hybrid, and I really didn't like. I'm a Lincoln guy. I drove the Lincoln Corsair, and I really did not like that truck. So on the way home from driving that, said to my wife, let's stop in. I know a little bit about electric vehicles. They intrigue me. I'm friendly with Out of Spec Dave. I've watched a lot of Out of Spec reviews and Out of Spec motoring and all of that. Great channel. If you're into EVs, you probably know about it already. But EV Dave, as I call him, is a friend. So he had been talking about electric vehicles. I'd been following the station, the channel, and I really was very interested in what I was seeing. So let me check these out. And the Ioniq 5, which is a Hyundai, and the Volkswagen ID4 here were the two that kind of stuck out to me. We drove into an Ioniq or a Hyundai dealership, and the first thing we saw, an Ioniq 5 there. My wife looked at it and she said that thing's hideous, and didn't even want to drive it. So I didn't even drive the Ioniq 5 because happy wife, happy life, right? So but I had seen the ID4 back before the first edition came out. I saw one sort of a pre-release at like a local fair. They had one there, and they were just kind of talking about it, just kind of pushing it. And I liked the truck, and I learned a lot about it, and I heard a lot about it. I said, let me check it out. We roll in, and my wife looks at it, and she goes, that's a good-looking truck. There's nothing odd about it. It's just a truck that happens to be electric. They didn't try to make a statement with it. It wasn't one of these things that, you see it running down the street, and it's this odd-looking vehicle. It just looked like a truck, and it just happened to be electric. So that was sort of the first thing that drew us to it. I took it for a drive, and I fell in love, and I wasn't necessarily looking for another vehicle, but once I drove this, and I knew the incentives and all those things that were going on, I said, you know what? I said, let's do this. So I grabbed one. I did not get rid of my old car right away. My Lincoln MKZ gas. Love that car. Have not gotten rid of it yet because I want to take this through the winter. It's December 22 right now. I did not want to get rid of that right away because I wanted to see if I could deal with this and all of the, I'll call them inconveniences, for lack of a better term, of owning an electric vehicle. And, that is still sort of the thing that is getting me. So there's a thing called, it's when you're nervous about your range, right? Range anxiety, they call it. It's when you're fairly, I guess, folks that are fairly new to electric vehicles, and they are afraid of what could or could not happen if they run out of fuel. The battery runs out, and there's nowhere to charge. There's gas stations everywhere. You run through my town, and you pass, like everybody's town, you run through, and there's 30 gas stations within 10 miles of my house, and there's probably 2 charging stations, aside from, of course, my home. Which we'll talk about that in a few minutes. What I did for my own charging situation at home, but I was nervous. I mean, I drive about 25 miles each way to go down to as part of my commute, And I'm like, okay, that's 50 miles. And this thing, it's cold. It's December. So it's, we just went through a crazy cold snap like everybody. And, I was really concerned about, running out of fuel, running out of electric, my battery going dead and not starting, me on the side of the road. What the hell do I do? I can't walk to the gas station. So that is something I'm still dealing with. Everywhere I go, I look to see if there's chargers around just in case I need them. They haven't even come close yet. So I've gotten it down to 24% stated charge. It's the lowest I've gotten, which, real EV folks will laugh at me, because plenty of these videos that I watch and folks that I know will roll in with, sub 5% stated charge. I'm not quite there yet, but I'll get there, I suspect. But let's talk about the car. Let's walk around it and see what looks good. All right, so we'll just start with a walk around, I guess. Just looking at it from the outside. Got the all-wheel drive Pro S version. This is they have a couple different ones. I wanted the all-wheel drive, so I went with that. It's got the Pirelli P0s on it, specifically made for EVs, which is nice. I understand that EVs need some special stuff when it comes to the way that they're designed. I don't fully understand any of it, nor do I need to, because that's what Pirelli does. So charging port, easy access. I've charged it once at Electrify America. Pretty seamless. It only pulled maybe 67 kilowatts, which is kind of low for the car. It's filthy, by the way. My apologies for that. But it's, like I say, it's December in New York right now. Let's take a look at the trunk. So it's got the kick to open, which I did not just use. I put this, it's still laying down. I put down a protector for back there that's still getting its shape about it. The 60/40 split back seat, I've already used that functionality when I went and picked up some stuff. And then just, sort of along the leather interior, the whatever it is, partial leather interior, whatever the hell stuff is called. I love the glass roof.
Over to eBay Motors. They have horns for every make and model, not to mention horn pads, steering wheel.
So I love this. Seems to be a big thing in electric vehicles that they come with glass roofs. I'm not sure exactly what that's all about. I've heard a lot of things about the software. I really don't have a lot to say about the software, just because I have not experienced any other software. This does a whole bunch of stuff that I like. So far, so good with that. I'm still trying to figure out how to use it, if I was going to road trip with it, how I would go about, going from charger to charger and things like that. But that's just all part of the learning curve. I'm really getting used to the display here and the way that it works. It's really interesting the way that that you shift with it and stuff. It's got the different modes. Regular drive mode is the D here. That feels just like driving a gas car. And then you can go into the B mode, which is the brake regen mode. That is so that when you take it doesn't have real one pedal driving like a Tesla or like a lot of other cars, but it does have that feel to it when you take your foot off the gas, that that you're capturing some of that energy. So that is the B mode. And then of course reverse, it's got a nice camera on it. Camera is a little bit fisheye, so that's something that is sort of odd. One thing that I learned was that EVs generally don't have, I'll show you on here, radio, let's see, radio mode, FM, Sirius XM, and internet radio. it doesn't have AM. I found that out the very first day that I was driving the car. I wanted to go put on an AM station that I like to listen to, a business station that I listen to on my way to work in the morning, and there was no AM. So I did a little bit of research on that, and it turns out that AM stations cause some sort of a interference with electric vehicles. Had no idea. I found that very interesting. Ambient lighting and things like that. I mean, it's all stuff that I've had. I do like the heated seats with a massage. That was something that's nice. Like I said, coming out of my Lincoln had, I could change the ambient lighting. It had heated and cooled seats. This does not have cooled seats. It had the massage, which I liked. It's got the cruise control with the adaptive cruise control. My Lincoln had that as well. I like that. One thing that I really was impressed with this car was using the adaptive cruise control. I had come up on some traffic that was going slow in the middle lane. I decided to go around them. In my Lincoln, when I would pop out and I was going to get up to, say I was going 50, I wasn't, but say I was going 50 and my cruise control was set to 60. Going from 50 to 60 in the Lincoln, when it caught up, it put you back in your seat. Like it wanted to get there fast. The adaptive cruise control on this is much better. So when you're in cruise control, you see the little right there, it just came on that I was in cruise control, and now it's deactivated. It gradually brought you up. So I thought it was really really nice the way that it did that. So now a lot of electric vehicles have front trunks. So I'm going to pop up there and show you what the Volkswagen ID4, this is a 2023 if I didn't say that. I'll show you what that one has. So here we are with the front of the Volkswagen ID4. It does not have a front trunk, or a frunk as they're called. This is where all of the electronics is and all of the fluids that you need to maintain, the washer fluid, different fluids that are needed to run the vehicle, and different systems that are needed to run the vehicle. It's all located in here, which I think is nice. I don't know where it's located on other cars, Teslas and whatnot that have a frunk. I don't know where they put it, but I think this probably makes a lot of sense to me. I've got plenty of room in the back for storing anything that I need with the it's a small SUV, so I've got plenty there. I don't need anything that I would need to put into this space. So all in all, my general take on the car, I like it a lot so far. Again, I'm 2 weeks into it, 400 miles. I got it with 4 miles. I've got 400 miles on it in 2 weeks. I'm finding it enjoyable to drive. I think it drives really well. I don't have any of the software bugs that so far, knock wood, that other folks have been talking about. But overall, I'm really impressed with the vehicle. I think it does exactly what it's supposed to do, which is get me from point A to point B. It's doing it with electricity as opposed to with gasoline, and I think that it's something that I'm glad that I considered it. I'm glad I did it, and we'll see how it goes. Thanks for watching.